Hey, how's it going? My name's Steven. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Torch, and I wanted to make this quick video to show you everything you need to know about Torch in a quick demo from what we are, how you get it, and how you use it, and I'll try to get through it as quickly as possible. Um, so the first question with Torch is who we help. Okay, and we're built for sales teams that are doing some degree of outreach to prospects via email, whether that be inbound or outbound. So if you're looking at sales reps, most people fall on either one side of the scale. Um, you have a highly personalized sales rep, and for them, no two emails look the same. They're heavily targeted in their outreach, and they really rely on a high response rate, which they in turn get because of their because of how targeted they are, because of how personalized they are, and that's how they're successful. And on the other side of the spectrum is the sales rep that's essentially a robot, and they're buying lists, they're scraping emails online, they're sending cadences, and it's all automated with touch one, touch two, touch three, touch four, and they're going extremely wide, not particular in their outreach. And to be successful, they're relying on a high number of sent emails because they have such a low response rate. So who we help in this equation is, mid to left side of the field when it comes to personalization. Um, and where does that fall under? In the middle, you use templates, but you're customizing each email. You sell like a human and not a robot. And because you're not automating an entire outreach, touch one, touch two, touch three, touch four, you sometimes miss follow up with unresponsive prospects. And that's just a part of the give and take that you get when you're being more personalized. You lose the accuracy and persistence of a robot, but you gain the personalization and the higher response rates. So we help mitigate those issues, and we get you to sort of act like a robot while being highly personalized in your outreach by systemizing all your prospects the same way that the bot would. Okay, so what do we do and how do we do it? If you look on the screen here, you'll see with 100 outreaches, 21 followed up, 54 need follow up, 16 replied, 9 bounced. Okay, what does that mean? With Sales Torch, you're going to scan a certain time period. So, for example, I can say scan last week, and it's going to look at all the outreach you did that week, and it's going to categorize it based on where you need to take action. Okay, so 21 of those 100, you've already followed up with them. So you don't need to worry about them. There's no action to take there. 54 need follow-up. You need to go in there and you need to follow up with those prospects. 16 of them have replied. So nothing really to do there, assuming you've replied to the emails. And 9 have bounced. You probably want to clear those out of your CRM or fix the emails, right? So yeah, we categorize the prospects to tell you who you need to follow up with. And what that does is it means that you'll never miss a follow-up unless it's intentional. Because you're getting this list every single day, there really is no reason to ever miss a follow-up because that folder is existing in your email. And because they're all in a folder, you can get through them incredibly quickly because it's just a list, boom, 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 boom. Your 50 need follow-ups on Monday morning, you can just click through them and type your customized emails. In a more dynamic sense, you can take this technology past just let me scan last week and let me stay up to date with my follow-ups. You can be even more creative with it. So, maybe once you get the program, you want to scan an older time period and you want to review old replies and rekindle some old conversations. So let me look at June of last year when we were selling tickets to our annual event. and our event's coming back, so let me look at all those replies, and those people that were interested, let me talk to them again. Or it doesn't even have to be time-based. You can look at replies from 2 years ago when you first started at the company you're selling at, and you can say, okay, all these people, replied to me with a message that could have been something had I handled it better. It's 2 years later, let me restart something. Or they said, my company doesn't have budget for this. These are the people that are responsive to me at least. Let me check LinkedIn, see if they're at the same company. Lots of creative ways you can take it, right? And as soon as you get Torch, you can go in your email, look at old time periods, look for people that you've missed follow-up with. A lot of times you do a scan of your email and you're like, oh shoot, this was a great lead. I met him at this event and he seemed interested. I sent him an email and then I just got busy and forgot about it, 4 months ago. And now that you have Torch, you're able to find that and hopefully recover that business. Okay, so how do we deliver this data to you? So the first thing we do is you're going to get a daily email of the prospects that you need to follow up with. So what that allows you to do is touch base even when you're not at a computer. So if you see in the photo, we have a iPhone with some examples of what that email looks like. You can just click on that email and it'll compose a new email right then and there to that prospect. And that lets you follow up even when you're not at a computer, right? So you're out of the office that day or you're at an event, you can follow up. And I put here like a robot would, because a robot doesn't have times where they're not at a computer, so they're not doing work. No, they need to follow up. They're following up at that exact time. And now you can do the same. And then we sort these prospects based on engagement. So if you see the top email here has 6 opens, that's a hotter opportunity. If I'm on the go with a lot of leads, maybe I'm just going to follow up with my top opportunities, or same on the computer. And then we also create folders within your email on the web, so you can quickly run through your follow-ups. Like I mentioned, that list of the prospects that need follow-up are all going to exist there, and you can swipe through them, and it's very fast and effective. Okay, so you might be wondering, okay, this daily email you're getting, who are these people? How do we know you need to follow up with them? And it's really tailored to you, and it's based on your settings. So we ask a couple questions once you join Torch. When you reach out to a prospect, how much time do you leave before you follow up? Say I set this for 10 days, okay? It's going to ignore people that you've emailed in the last 10 days because you personally don't like to follow up with people that quick. Then on the 11th day, should you not have followed up with them, it's going to populate, hey, you need to follow up with this person. So long as they haven't replied or their email hasn't bounced or there was no sort of vacation autoresponder that pushes Torch back to send it out at a later date. Another question we ask is, how much time do you leave how many times you follow up with a prospect before you move on? And the higher number, the better here, but some people might only want to do 2 or 3 touches before they move on. And Torch will stop reminding you after you've touched base a certain number of times that you're setting here. So it's a customized experience that makes that daily email massively effective. Okay, on top of the scans and the email finds, we also let you find anyone's email, their corporate email. So if you look at the screen, all you're going to do from right within your email, you're going to enter the first name, last name, and their company domain name. And it's going to find their email address with 98% accuracy. We also offer open tracking, and that's the data that's used once you get that daily follow-up email. That's how we prioritize. But also you get a nice stream of all the opens, and in your email outbox, if you notice the red check marks, those are the ones that need follow-up. Those are the ones that they open your email. The gray ones haven't opened your email, and you can hover over and look at how many times they've opened. So I'm just going to quickly jump into the software and show you exactly how it's used. So if we access my email here, okay, everything you're going to want to do is within this green box here, Torch. you can do a manual scan from here. So the way I was mentioning, you can go back in time, you can do that all through here, right? So maybe I want to look at March. We can go to March, and I want to look, let's look at the entire month of March, and let's find prospects that I was reaching out to at that point. Let's find prospects that I never sent any follow-up to during that time. And this is an option that's more helpful when you're doing more recent scans, but it's going to saying prospects that haven't replied within how many days. So say I set this to 10 days, it's going to ignore prospects that I've sent any sort of outreach to in the last 10 days. So let's leave it at 10 days. And then it's just going to scan your email. Okay, so in March, not many outreaches from that email, 9. 2 of them were followed up with, 2 need follow-up. 5 replied, and none bounced. So that's sort of the way it's populated here. If you ever close it, you can just reopen it from the Torch Last Scan folder and navigate through all the different options right in that folder there. You can verify an email here. All that means is if I put in nonsense@salestorch.com and hit verify, it's going to tell me that the email address is not valid. I can also find an email. So if we put in my name, at salestorch.com and hit find, it's going to give me the correct email, and I can just hit that to compose a new email. Here's the history view of my opens and settings. So this is where I can go back in, and as I showed you guys before, the daily auto scan, I can reset my settings, and I can turn it off or on as I please. This is an important part here. You can ignore certain companies. So say I already work with apple.com and I'm emailing to a bunch of different people there. I might just add apple.com to my list as someone that is never going to need any follow-up to, or fedex.com. And then it's going to just ignore all people from those domains because you're probably not doing any sort of cold email outreach to them. So for example, your domain, once you sign up, is automatically going to come up on there because there's going to be lots of email colleagues and things like that where you might not necessarily need to follow up with them. Another interesting thing is our organization-wide response match. And basically what that is, if we turn this on and say last week I emailed 5 people at apple.com, and let's say John Smith got back to me, it's not going to tell me to follow up with even the other 4. It's going to mark all those 5 people as replied, even though just the one person at the company replied. So if you're very targeted and, if you're doing a higher number of prospects, you might not want to back off even though someone at the company said no. But say you're very targeted, you reach out to the CEO and his assistant, let's say, then you can turn this on because at that point, either one of an answer is enough to really mark it off. And you can just set that up for a scan, turn it on, do a scan, and turn it off. So those are all the features that you get within Torch and some of the use cases. There's a ton more examples of how you can really use this. We've had companies tell us whenever we have a sales rep leave, we look at the last couple months, do a scan. We know exactly who replied, who needs to be followed up with by other reps, and in who replied, who might not be a pipelined opportunity, but something that should be worked. And you can go back to the history of that rep to just get a list of everyone that replied and really get an understanding for the person that's going to take over those opportunities. So hopefully I was able to cover everything in a short enough amount of time that you're still sticking around. But you can definitely just shoot me an email at any time. The email is steven@salestorch.com, or just visit our website. And if you want to jump on a demo, I'm happy to show you on a call one-on-one. So just let me know. Thanks for watching, and hope you give it a try.